Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vishwaguttu and this is VG Studios. If you're new here, I make Python tutorials regularly to teach more people about Python and inspire more people to start coding. If you've been following along, in my previous video we learned about file processing in Python, and today we shall be talking about object-oriented programming in Python, and to be more specific, we shall be talking about objects and classes in Python. What we've learned so far in Python has been structured programming. In this, we learn how to solve tasks by breaking them down into smaller subtasks and solving them. We've also learned functions and methods in Python that tell us how to solve a same set of instructions repeatedly. However, when we make a program with a large set of functions that are not grouped according to any order, they start becoming harder to use. But from now onwards, we shall be doing object-oriented programming, which has a little bit of a different approach. Therefore, we use object-oriented programming to solve tasks by collaborating them into groups known as classes. So firstly, object-oriented programming, aka OOP, is a programming paradigm that is based on the concept of objects and classes, which we shall be talking about today. We use four basic terminologies in OOP. These are classes, objects, methods, and instances. A class is basically a blueprint of the capabilities of an object and is used to create an object, which is a specific and concrete instance of a class. Methods are functions that are defined inside a class, and they can only be used by objects that belong to that class. And lastly, an instance is a specific realization of an object. The object is defined in the program with variables, but every time the object is made, that is, every realized variation of the object is an instance. At first, it may seem a little confusing to understand all these terms, but as you progress in OOP, they shall become pretty elementary compared to the rest of the topic. To understand these terms better, let's take an example. For example, if we have a class named dog, then golden retriever or Siberian husky would be objects of this class as they are breeds of dogs. Fur color or tail length would be the methods of this class as their common characteristics of all dogs. And finally, each individual golden retriever or husky would be an instance of this class. A more technical example from what we've already learned before is that string is a class of all string objects and list is a class of all list objects. Let's say my string is equal to hello world. This is an object which is an instance of the string class, and we can use methods from this class such as upper and lower like this. Next, the public interface of a class is the set of all methods and a description of their behaviors provided by a class. For example, if we take any list object, all we need to know are the methods like append or pop that we can use and the outputs that they give, but we do not need to know how the class list processes all these instructions internally to give us the output that we need. And the list of these methods and descriptions that we need is known as the public interface of the class list. Now let's see how to create a class in Python. To do this, we simply need to say class followed by the class name and a colon. And below this, we should use an indentation, just like in a while or for loop, to define the attributes and methods. Next, let's talk about the init method. This is a short form for the initialization or constructor method. This method sets the initial values for any parameters that need to be defined when an object is first defined. Hence, it is automatically called as soon as a new instance of the class is created. Here's an example of the initialization method. Class dog define init of self, breed. Self.breed is equal to breed. This shall be the initial value of every instance. Define display breed. Print the breed of this dog is, self.breed. This shall be a function to display the breed of the dog, and next we can make an object of the class dog like this. and then use the display breed method to print the dog's breed like this. If you noticed, we used the self argument while initializing the class dog. This is what we should use in order to access the attributes of the class, which was breed in the previous example. Without the self argument, you cannot access any attribute of the class. Finally, we can wrap this video up by mentioning a couple of points to remember about objects and classes. To create an object, just as we saw in the previous example, you simply need to assign to a variable the class and its parameters like this. Variable is equal to class name of parameters. We can also define a class that does not have any parameters in the initialization method. Also, to access any attributes or methods in a class, you can simply call them like this. The object name dot the method you want followed by brackets. With this, we're done with the basics of objects and classes in Python. If you go deeper in OOP, you shall learn about the other main concepts, which are inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. So today we learned about the basics of object-oriented programming, the definitions and examples of objects, classes, methods, and instances, public interfaces of a class, the initialization method and self-argument. And finally, we listed out other main concepts of OOP. So that's all for this video and this series, guys. With this video, we have completed the basic introduction to Python. Later on, I shall definitely try to make more Python related videos to solve examples and maybe explain other topics that we haven't covered yet that are more advanced. But for now, I shall be releasing a few more PC related videos as I have seen an amazing response from you guys for the previous PC video. Also, I'm really grateful for all the incredible support that I've gotten from you guys for my channel. And at this point, we're over 160 subs and we're still growing. So after these PC videos come out, I hope that we still grow and keep going. And I shall not back out on Python videos, and I shall definitely try and release more and more Python related videos too. So thank you all for this amazing experience. I hope you learned something new from this series. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And if you have any kinds of doubts or suggestions that you would like to leave, please leave them in the comment section below. Anything related to Python or PCs, I shall be ready to answer, or I shall even be ready to make new videos for you guys. So thank you, and as usual, see you in my next one.